welcome to my YouTube channel. Here I'm going to be talking a little bit about my husband and I's fertility journey, so welcome aboard. So this is kind of where I want to be able to kind of talk about like what we're going through, because this whole journey can be really scary and has definitely been very intimidating. So my husband and I have been going through fertility treatments, and when I would look for other people's experiences on a procedure, I only could find blogs. Yes, there are YouTube videos out there, but unfortunately not a whole lot for what I was looking for. I truly find that, for myself at least, that I do better when I'm watching someone talk, because I can feel the passion in their voice and I can hear them and really just empathize with what they're going through or what they went through or any of that kind of stuff. And I didn't see a whole lot of that, and so I kind of wanted to share my story. My husband and I are very, very open with our fertility journey. All of our friends, our family, everybody on social media knows. I actually have an Instagram that my husband and I use to kind of keep everybody updated, just because this is a really scary journey and you feel alone really, really quick. I am a professional makeup artist, so when I'm not working, I'm home by myself, hanging out with my pup, and as great as he is, he's a great listener, but he's not a very good talker, so I start to feel really, really lonely pretty quick, just because not a whole lot of people talk about what we're going through. It's kind of like not normal to talk about it, I feel. I don't know, but for me, it's really important for me to talk about it. It takes me out of that dark corner of infertility and kind of gives me a chance to really see a different side of what we're going through. So anyways, trying to keep this short. If you'd like to hear more about what we're going through and see our experience and come along with us on this journey to potential parenthood, just go ahead and keep on watching then. So I wanted to kind of introduce myself and my husband. He's not here right now, he's at work, but my name is Brooke Rock, my husband's name is Jay Rock. We currently live in Colorado. We met in middle school, did not date throughout middle school and high school, but we did get back together in high school and have been together ever since. We've been married for 2.5 years. We got married in December of 2014. I don't know why I had to think about that. I should probably know better. But we had decided that we were going to have kids 5 years after our marriage, which obviously didn't happen. We agreed maybe 2 years. I may or may not have pressured him into it. Just thinking about having kids earlier, I mean, not like pressuring him into having kids. But so we started trying to have a baby last year, about 1 year and 4 months ago of some sort. So when we started, we were like, hey, let's just try, not try, which pretty much meant like, let's just see what happens. So that's kind of what we did for a while. And it wasn't happening, and I started to get a little anxious because I was reading a lot of stuff and WebMDing a lot of stuff. And so I started to freak myself out. We went in November of 2016 to do fertility testing, and came to find out that unfortunately I have polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's very, very common. Pretty much what it means is you have a really high testosterone level. So I have a lot of testosterone running through my body. So I like to make the joke that I'm a man because I have a lot of testosterone in my body. I don't know, because I think it's funny. I don't know. So I have all this testosterone running through my body, which then throws off the rest of my hormones, which then means that I actually don't ovulate. So I don't drop eggs, which means for me, I don't get a period, which would be nice if we were trying to have a baby. So I kind of need that period to, you know, be able to do what we're doing. But anyways, so we went in November. We found out that I had PCOS. They suggested that we start with Clomid. So Clomid is a drug that actually stimulates your ovaries and helps mature eggs. So my problem also includes that my eggs don't mature. I have a lot of them, but they don't mature. So I don't drop anything, nothing gets fertilized, blah, blah, blah. The rest is history. So we took the rest of the holidays off of fertility just to kind of get through what we were going through, kind of grasp what we were going through, do our research, blah, blah, blah. So come January 2017, we decided, okay, we're ready. Let's go through this treatment together. Like, let's do this. So I did get an induced period because, like I said, I don't have periods. So I did take a synthetic version of progesterone, which so you take 10 days of it and then you stop taking it, and then your body decides, oh, hey, like, we don't have any progesterone, so let's have a period. I don't really know how the whole medical portion of it works. All I know is it works. So we decided to do that. We took Clomid. I did ovulate. It was great. Unfortunately, we didn't get pregnant, which is kind of a bummer, but that's why we're here, so I can share more of my story with you guys. So we took our round of Clomid. Our first doctor was not monitoring us correctly, so we went to a second doctor. They did an ultrasound in between doses, so you can only take 6 doses in your life, at least here in the United States, because it heightens your chance of cervical cancer. So they will only allow us to do 3, and then we have to go 3 with this doctor, and then we have to go to a specialist. So luckily, we're not at the specialist level yet. But so we did take our first round. We went in to get an ultrasound. So basically, the reason they do an ultrasound is to check to see if you have any cysts. This is where the cyst word comes in. A cyst is basically a follicle that didn't drop. So I unfortunately did have a cyst. If I were to continue on to the next dose, that dose would probably just grow that cyst. So then I wouldn't even ovulate the second time. So that basically it would be a waste of a dose. So they're saying, hey, we can't let you do any treatment this one, or at least for Clomid, you can't do any treatment for Clomid this cycle. So we suggest doing a FemView. So a FemView HSG is where they blow air and saline bubbles into your fallopian tubes. So here's your uterus. So here's your uterus, and then you have fallopian tubes, and then you have basically the little chambers that your eggs are in. A lot of women have maybe some buildup mucus, maybe some kinks in their tubes, so this can actually be really helpful. They called it dusting the cobwebs. So we were like, cool, let's do it. So we went in, and we went to have our procedure, and unfortunately it was done really poorly, and we basically got our money back because it was done really poorly and it failed. And it was at the fault of the doctors. It wasn't because my body didn't react to it well, it was because they had kind of messed up, and that's a whole different story, and we're not going to get into it. But point being, we did the FemView HSG, so then and then it failed, and they suggested we do a dye HSG. Basically, it's the same procedure, except they put iodine into your uterus and into your fallopian tubes and take an x-ray. So that tells you if you are opened or if not, where you're clogged, stuff like that. So it's a little more intensive of a procedure just because it shows a little bit more what's going on. So we were ready to do that right after the FemView HSG, but unfortunately we had a scheduling mishap. And then I had a 15-day period the second time we were going to try and do it. And so just recently I actually did another round of progesterone, or the synthetic version of, which is Provera, to induce my period so that I could get this procedure done. Today I did get my procedure done. I haven't heard anything back yet. I won't hear anything until probably tomorrow, which will be June 14th. So June 14th of 2017, I will find out a little bit more information about what everything is doing down there. If we're open, if we are open, then we're going to talk about a new treatment plan, potentially including Clomid. I am also on metformin for my polycystic ovarian syndrome because PCOS is actually derived from diabetes, and metformin is a diabetic medication. However, I don't have diabetes yet. If I am not able to control what I eat, if I'm not good at basically, if I'm not being healthy or like doing what I'm supposed to be doing with my body, then I could continue on and have diabetes. So the metformin has been very helpful. It has helped me actually start having cycles outside of this last one, but whatever. Come on, metformin, get it together. So we are hoping that maybe My body will just kind of do what it's supposed to do. We have a really high chance of getting pregnant either this month or next month, and I think it's one more month after that. I'm not sure. So we're really excited, and I'm hoping that everything comes back really good tomorrow, and I will keep you guys updated on that and what the verdict is. And I also am going to do a video once I find out about what's going on, what the results and stuff. I will do a video about my experience with the HSG, the dye version, not the Femvie version. We're focusing on the positive here because this journey has been invasive and challenging and altogether just very interesting, that's for sure. So I get asked all the time, how's everything going, and how, what can I do for you type stuff. And so this was kind of an easier way. This YouTube channel is a little bit easier for us to kind of tell everybody what's going on instead of having to do it individually. I don't mind being asked. I'm not a fragile little piece of glass. I don't like being treated like that. I know some people are a little more sensitive about their journeys, and that's totally a-okay. For me, I'm very, very open. I want to talk about it. I want to get over the stigma behind it because I feel like so many people deal with this, but not a lot of people talk about it. So I want to be open, and I want to update my friends, my family with what's going on, and also if it's able to help anybody out there that's going through the same journey, that is looking into what could potentially be, some sort of treatment plan for themselves, if it arises questions for other people to ask their doctors. That's all I can hope for. Personally, right now, this is, what I truly, truly hope that it comes from it is that it helps me and my husband feel a little bit better. Because, like I said, this journey is very hard, and the only thing that we can do is to give it to God. And my husband and I are very, very religious, and we believe that God does have a plan. And I hear it all the time, like, God has a plan. It'll happen. Don't stress out about it. And maybe I'll do a video on, maybe speaking etiquette to someone who's going through fertility, because although a lot of that kind of stuff is helpful, sometimes it can be a little redundant and people can get kind of upset. So, but point being, my husband and I know that God has a plan, and we're going to continue to give it to God, and I want to be able to do that, and the best way that I can do that is by being very open and fluent with what's going on, and this is a good way for us to do it. That was a really, really long way of explaining why I have my YouTube channel too. Anyways, well, thank you guys so much for watching. This is our story up to date, and I will be back with more. Bye!